Okay, and just a quick little audio check. Alrighty then, hello everyone and welcome to VCL for this very special Misano Grand Prix for the GT4 class. It's going to be a very exciting race today. Go ahead and go through a bit of the details here in a bit. Get this UI fixed, here we go. Perfect. So we see our drivers getting ready here for qualifying today. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and go through our formalities today. We are at Misano for round 2 on the GT4 calendar. We had our race previously at Silverstone, a very enthralling sprint, and then of course feature race. That's a nice win by Technoplayer. And here is our track layout for today. We see that we are around the Misano International Circuit. It is a 16-corner track with very iconic corners here. Of course, this is mostly known for being a MotoGP circuit, but we are going to make do of it for our GT4 cars here today. Very interesting corners in turns 1 and 2. That's a chicane. That should be a very entertaining overtaking zone, as well as turn 8 and of course turn 14. We'll be looking.
So, quali started, by the way.
Yes, I know. We will be going through quali here. We'll be going to quali here in a bit. Actually, we'll go to quali now. We'll look to the drivers here on track. Right. So we see here no lap times have been set quite yet. We have Always Scary coming through in the BMW M4, and a new driver, Roxy. I didn't see him last race, so we'll be looking to him to see what he can do. And Sammy, he's also a returning driver from last race at Silverstone. He had quite a interesting race. He was in a very heated battle throughout most of the race, but it'll be interesting to see what he can do in his second race in the GT4 class. Of course, a lot of these drivers, this is their either first series or the series that they are building into the VCL league. As we see Kella just going fastest here on the soft tire, so he's just completed his lap. Always Scary is a little bit behind him. It looks like Roxy will actually complete his lap first, so We'll look to see here who can put it on pole. For pole position, it was. Once I get these results up here. Yep, last time out, pole was taken by Techno. Yeah, so Techno in the pro class, and Roxy. Okay, so this isn't his first race out, but he was actually on pole for the AM class, which is a class he will be sporting today as he goes once again to the top on the medium tires, and then behind him, Sebi will cross the line, and he goes. Or it doesn't look like his lap time has populated on the board, but so far our 4 AM drivers going to be getting used to the circuit, going to be figuring out where they can and cannot push. They're very spaced out, very disciplined so far, as opposed to last week. But of course, we're still very early in the session, and we'll be looking to see what more will be going on here. As in 10 seconds time, the pro drivers will be out on track, so that will be definitely very exciting. Pro drivers are, of course, very much more experienced as opposed to our AM drivers. We have the yellow flag on the track. I'm not entirely sure why here, but yeah. So we'll look to see. The drivers should be coming out of the pit lane. With that being said, they have to just something. So go ahead and actually a shot here of Roxy driving through. Go to our replay camera with our reset. So that way I can get a nice angle of our pro drivers. Yes, here we go. So thank you so much for bearing with me here. Just gonna go ahead and get. What is it? What is this command? There we go. So we're here with Weblu. He was also another very competitive driver last time out. Qualified P3, so he'll be looking to replicate that. Quite a good start for him, and he actually won the sprint, but didn't do so well in the feature race. So it'll be interesting for him to see how he can do today, as well as James. So James is actually making his debut for the GT4 class. Wasn't able to make it this time out. I believe he was stuck in traffic. Wish it was circuit traffic, but it was in real life traffic. So looks like the two Audi Sport drivers are out there, Cloud as well as, not entirely sure who it is, but Cloud will begin his lap. So it'll be very interesting to see how he does.
King Kong dead.
He is one of the league owners, as we have my co-commentator, the Belgian stallion, Asano Herstal, wonderfully joining us. Asano, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing, King Kong did?
I'm doing great as usual, even better now that my partner in crime is here. So, Asano, we are about 3 minutes into the session. Our pro drivers are just now out there doing their laps. What are you expecting from this qualifying session?
What am I expecting? I am expecting. Who's here? Is Techno here?
No, we have
Techno pole.
Yes, he is actually. Yes, he is. Techno just now, I think, finishing his.
I'm expecting a Techno or a Weblu pole, and then let's hope for some close times for the rest of the field.
Hopefully, it looks like we've had a new driver, James, who's very good in the GT3 class. It'll be interesting to see if his success in the GT3 class is able to replicate itself here in GT4. Slightly different cars, of course, different challenge, but same principle. So we've seen quite a few drivers from GT3 do well here in Weblu and Techno. We'll see if James is able to replicate their success. It looks like we'll be getting some of our last drivers starting their laps, and we're going to go ahead and go on board with Cloud as he heads into turn one, gets a very nice apex through there, braking, slowing down, and it looks like he's actually letting his teammate past him as he heads into turn three. This very long bend, and then you want to really break it down here for turns 4, 5, and 6. Get very nice rotation through there, and you want to be as really as close to the apexes as possible here. Of course, these cars present a slightly different challenge in their rotation compared to the GT3 cars, but of course, top speed 156 miles per hour as he heads hurtling down now to turn 8 called Querciera. I don't speak Italian, but it's a very beautiful corner name as he hits the apex very
Oh,
well there, but he actually bumps into his teammate on the exit of the corner. So that's not going to be ideal. He won't be really looking to this to being some of his, well, hopefully it's not his quickest lap. But on the exit there, it looks like three of these Audi drivers are just in this little pack as they are heading down this back straight, this very long back straight, which actually features three apexes, the last of which you want to slow down for the very tight hairpin of turn 14. So Cloud, on his final flying lap, behind his teammate here, will be looking to push as much as he can, but really it is all a lost cause as they are going, basically side by side. So the two teammates getting in each other's way. There's 10 seconds till they can get to the line, so it's not looking quite likely that they'll
someone's
make
just got the whole track.
yeah, it looks like in the background there. Oh, and Cloud pits. So that is Cloud's qualifying session done. So yeah, we'll be looking for the final drivers completing their laps here. It looks like James, our debutant here in the GT4 class at least, will be completing his lap as he's heading down this back straight into the second of the final few apexes here. He looks to be very nice and tidy through there. Or through the hairpin, it looks like he keeps a very good speed. And on the exit, he doesn't get a CC. So he'll be looking very fortunate to have been able to run as wide as he did. Now into the final corner, all across the apex, flat out to the line now. What time can he do? We'll look to the leaderboard, and James does not seem to improve here. So P8 will be the best that he can do. Weblu seems to have abandoned his lap. Always scary is exiting.
Always scary. Somehow still doing his lap when crossing the line too late. The session was already over when he crossed the line, but I guess he's still going for it.
Yeah, looks like he'll still be pushing there because it looks like Seb and Jen Luffy are some of the last ones on their lap. Jen Luffy looks like he's trying to take a toe from Seb. I'm not sure if toe is enabled, but if it is, that will be a very big advantage for him.
I don't think there's any slipstream.
Whack is actually on pole, or W4K.
I don't think there's any slipstream available during qualifying sessions, so slipstream will not be a factor in this session.
So if it is a non-factor, then Jen Luffy will be very much at a disadvantage here as he's really been staring at the bumper of this car the entire lap. But as he heads now into the final corner, he goes into the pit. So it looks like this is going to be your GT4 grid for the future race, as this actually does not qualify the drivers for the sprint race. We have reverse grid for the sprint. So we'll go ahead and get a image of these times here. And yeah, so will you be able to run us through our grid here for, or not our grid, but our qualifying finishing order for this session?
Oh, in first place on pole position we got Whack, or what's his name? The guy Whack. In second we got Jen Laffy. Third we got MON. Fourth we got Roxy. And Dictionary Shutdown. I can't see all the other names.
And then after him,
if you can continue it, King.
MON. If we check session results here, we have MON in P3. P4 is Roxy. In fifth is Cloud. In sixth is Just Maxi, I believe. Seventh is Weblu, so a disappointing qualifying for him. O is Scary in P8. Ninth is Jam. Techno down in 10th place, but he was on the hard tires. And then in last place, Kel is your final qualifier. So we will now head on to the grid for the drivers to get themselves ready for the race, and we will join you. Hi, and welcome back. Thank you all for joining us. We are now getting ready for our sprint race. Oh, as a huge accident here happens on the formation lap. A few drivers just getting in each other's way. But before, without any further delay, we'll go ahead and run you through our reverse grid order for this sprint race. Okay, we'll go ahead and run you for our reverse grid order for the sprint race. Starting from P1, it is going to be Kelland in his first ever GT4 race. He is an AM driver, so it's going to be a very unexpected but a very highly anticipated start for him. Starting behind him is going to be the experienced driver Techno, who will be hoping to have a better sprint race than he did last time out in Silverstone. Behind them is James and Always Scary, and further back behind them in row 3 is Weblu and Just Maxi. Then in row 4, it is 22C Cloud, who will be hoping to have a good a start as he had before, and Roxy will be alongside him. Then in row 5, it is Mon and Jen, and then starting from the back in P11, it is Whack, who is our pole qualifier, who will start from the front of the feature race, but from the back in our sprint race. Asano, with this grid being set, what are your expectations heading in?
Well, I'm expecting some of the quicker drivers at the back to already make their way into the front of the race again, starting very soon. There might be some issues with the collisions. Some of the slower drivers might be holding up the faster drivers, so I think we'll see some good racing. Hopefully not too many crashes, but inevitably I think there will be a few.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how these drivers fare. It's been a very highly anticipated race here. Race, as Sebi going for the pit maneuver there on the 99 car. Some bad blood between these drivers for whatever.
Someone's going in the pit lane.
Yeah, pure pandemonium going on here. Not entirely sure what's going to these drivers' head. But
what is Epic Lexer doing? I think Epic Lexer joined the game late, so he has to start for the pit lane.
Looks like he'll be doing a pit lane start. But Kelland, our brand new driver, making his brand debut here in Visions Collide League, starting from pole position. He's got the best seat in the house, but is that where you want to be as a new driver? Well, we'll see. We'll see how he fares. We'll see how he does as these drivers are getting set here on the grid at Misano.
We got 3 drivers starting from the pit lane. It's gonna be Simon, UPD, Epic Lexer, and Trojas. They did not join in time for the qualifying, so I have to start from the pit lane in the sprint and the feature race.
It's going to be very interesting here. A few drivers.
Looks like there's some confusion with the grid slots. They might be thinking they're in the Motor GP race, but they are clearly not in the Moto GP race right now. They should just go in the car slots, not in the motor slots. And it's 5 red lights. And they're out, and here they go. Looks like everyone gets a decent start. Oh, Roxy's already falling back some positions. Did not have a good start there. Oh, Weblu cutting through the field already. As we got a few collisions going on. Weblu already up to 2nd place, right behind James. As we got some people going wide, Roxy going wide, and there are all the pit lane starters. Oh, we got a collision! Always Carry just sent it down the inside of Calad. Almost pit maneuvering them, but everyone's still going.
Looks like a few of the drivers actually got a very good start there. Some of our more experienced drivers, as James is already heading the field with quite the gap behind him. So it looks like James is leading from either Techno or Weblu.
What happened to Cloud?
And not entirely sure what just happened.
Oh, what happened?
Okay.
There was no slipstream. There has just been a nuke dropped on Misano because there was no slipstream.
Well, we'll go ahead and look at the start replay from what we have. It looks like Kellen got a pretty decent start initially, but ran wide into turn 1, and that allowed James to just go beautifully around his outside and even gave up position to Techno player there. as he was just falling down the field in his first ever start in VCL. So slightly disappointing, but to be frankly quite expected from the newbie. So won't be exactly happy about that, but he'll get a second chance. Our league owners have made quite the funny, and well, looks
I
like
thought 2CC Cloud was retiring, and then he just nuked Misano. Not nice for everyone, of course, but there was no slipstream. No one was going to be able to catch up to anyone.
okay.
So we're waiting now for the race to be resumed.
We'll wait here for a bit. Yeah. Not ideal, not what you want to see, but of course these drivers will have a test in adaptation. They'll have to figure out if they can get as good of a start as they did the first time, or if they can improve their start from last time. So it's all evens then. The drivers are lining back up on the grid. Kelland will get a second chance at getting a good start. Techno will be hoping to replicate, and James especially will be hoping he can recreate his fortune from last time. But back to ground zero, really, for our drivers
here. Someone is getting a message on their phone.
This guy. All right, and do not disturb is now on. Shouldn't have further disturbance.
As all the drivers are now heading to correct spots. Looks like there's still a few drivers missing. So we're waiting to resume the race, get that sprint race underway again, and then after go to the feature race.
So I guess while we have the chance here, we'll go ahead and run through our grid once more.
We're now getting word of the pit lane starters can actually start at the back of the grid. So no one will be in the pit lane at the start. They will just be all the way at the back of the grid, giving them a slight advantage over last time where they had to start from pit lane.
So we'll run back through our grid here for the drivers that will be starting for this sprint race. Of course, reverse grid. Starting from the back, it's going to be Whack. Despite qualifying on pole for this reverse grid order, he will be starting from the very back. And he'll have Jen and Mom ahead of him starting in row 5. Then ahead of them, it's going to be 22C and Rock starting P8. They are going to make up our row 4. And ahead of them is going to be Weblu starting from P5. And next to him will be just Maxi. Then ahead of him is Always Scary and Jam. They will be looking to get a very nice start, as ahead of them is going to be Techno and Kellen, who will start from pole position here at Masana. So just a nice little reminder here of the grid, as the drivers are still making their way to their grid slots. It'll be interesting to see just about when they are. Looks like a few of them are just tucked on this wall here. Not entirely sure why, but yeah, just a little bit of waiting here. These drivers get everything sorted.
They're asking for mandatory pit and a 5-lap sprint. I don't know that that's exactly possible. No mandatory pit. We're getting the word now of Cloud, as there is the starting grid, which King already has gone over. Mono not happy. You guys are such liars being said on the team radio right now.
Alright.
Because all the drivers just not really going into the grid spots, just taking their sweet old time to get this race underway again.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to farm some tire temps by turning the wheels into the wall and then turning away from it. So they don't move too much, so that doesn't wear their tires, but they do generate heat.
Oh,
And
we got a countdown going on.
okay,
Looks
so it
like the
looks
race is about to start again.
all right. Oh, marvelous, Sanasano, if you would be so kind to lead us on.
And five red lights. All lights out. Here we go. As looks like everyone gets a decent start again. Say, view the names again. As you're the top three. Oh. Looks like everyone gets. Oh, someone's Trojas has just gone off into the background. Oh, someone's dropping down the field. Kellad has a problem, I think. Trojas has just ran into the wall. That's his race. Here comes James again. James makes a move on Webblue. Back in second place as we got someone going onto the radio. Maxi, UDT, what the heck, idiot. There has something has happened there. I don't know what's happened. As James is gonna make a move down the inside of Techno. Oh, he makes it stick. James back up to first.
It looks like the drivers here have all sorted themselves out. Looks like Kelland, AM driver, has fallen back to the back of the grid. Unfortunately, I am having some technical difficulties, so I will have to reset my character to spectate some of these drivers. But the order so far looks to be Techno pushing James very close as they are side by side heading on this back straight. It'll be very interesting to see who is able to take the lead there as we switch camera very quickly. And now we are looking at Techno side by side. It looks like James will just about have the advantage as they head into this corner. It is about 3 or 4 wide going into this this corner, and it looks like they all just about get sorted out. Techno, second place, pushing there with James just around his side. Going to be very close. We'll see as they head. It's a drag race now down the main straightaway. They are pushing. Drivers giving each other no advantage. Heading into turn 1, this could come a proper here as they are all just about able to make it. Techno concedes into P2.
Yes, as now they're still fighting. James holding the inside for next corner. Keeps the inside. Techno tries to do a switchback, but he gets hit by Oris Carry. Oh, whoa! Techno almost a spin maneuver. James is dropping down the field. Oh,
James is off the track, and it looks like Techno gave him quite the push.
Dropped back all the way to 6th now, as it's Webblue now that's coming to the lead. Techno dropped back down to 4th.
It's not ideal there from the drivers. Techno making a move there down the inside of one of the drivers. It looks like, I'm not sure exactly who that is. Maybe James coming back up through the order.
Yes, James back in 3rd place.
Yeah, it is James as the drivers are pushing each other beyond the limit, really, you want to say, as it looks like Jen Luffy now has somehow found his way into P1 through all this carnage. So he leads the pack away. It's Jen Luffy, then it appears to be Webblue, and behind him is James. That's your top 3 right now, as the drivers are all towing off each other. We do have Slipstream now, as they are on this back straight. It'll be interesting to see what Webblue can do as they head now into this very tight hairpin. Oh, it looks like they're 3 wide behind. Cloud makes a send there onto the inside, but he's just not able to quite make the move done there.
James loses a position to Cloud. Cloud moving up into 3rd position now. Very well done by Cloud. Moving up through the places, starting to get to the front of the race again.
Very racy here. Nobody giving up an inch. As Webblue heads into turn 1 behind the leader, he sends it to the inside, but he's not much space there. So Webblue is going to have to concede and hold position here as he gives Cloud just the right amount of space to now take that position. It's very tight here. All the drivers are vying for the inside line, and James takes advantage as he will be on the outside now, but he lifts, and 44 is going off in the background. Mon, these drivers are all they are pushing very hard for this P1.
Yes, and now the teammates in P1 and P2 fighting for P1. James behind, getting back to the front of the race with Webblue and Techno right behind them. Sebi and Oiskari trying to catch this group, and then there's already a big gap to the other pack with, I think, Epic Lexer leading it. Just Maxi in the group as well, Roxy and W4K as well. Unlucky for him, started last and now in the back of the race.
be so close here. Weblu, Jen, and all these drivers are so close here on this back straight. They are going basically bouncing off each other, but they're all slipstreaming each other. They head into this little tap of the brakes, now into this heavy hairpin. Who is going to take advantage? Cloud somehow has found himself in the lead, but he goes a bit wide, and that's going to open the door there for Weblu to take, or sorry, not Weblu, Techno to take that position. This is a huge battle from P6, all fighting for P1. Blue is
As James comes through now again. James up to second place. Wow, this is such close racing. The lead is changing almost every single lap. Every position is changing. I don't know who's gonna win this race. What do you think, Kim?
This is looking like Formula E here. All the drivers are so close together. Nobody really taking a lead here. Nobody really having an advantage. But the slipstream effect is so powerful. As long as you stay within this group, as the 50 BMW sends an absolutely mad lunge, and that will break up the group as he's really let the leading group of 2CC or Cloud, Jen and Weblu to get away just that little bit with a quite crazy lunge. As looks like Weblu has a radio here.
Weblu comes up to the radio saying, "Why? Oh, Cloud! What happened to Cloud? It lost a little pace there. I don't know what happened." Looks like Techno and Jen Luffy now running away with the lead. Cloud trying to still catch on as there's some collisions in the back there. James still trying to catch up. He's been doing good so far, but unlucky with the dive bomb from the BMW. It looks like they're trying to work together, the BMW and James. No communication from Sebi and Weblu. They're trying to catch the main pack again.
We'll go ahead and look at the replay here of what exactly happened. As they're heading out of turn 2, the BMW there seems to get a very nice run, but as he's just following behind, just behind James, we see he just, braking way later than everyone, pushing out James completely off the circuit. So a very risky move from him, and didn't really seem to pay off too well, as now the group are kind of holding each other back, catching up again, and it looks like they'll be merging that gap as we go on to the penultimate lap here at Misano.
Yes, it looks like Weblu and James actually got away from Oiskari. Now called back up to the main group of the leading group of Cloud, Jen Luffy, and Techno. Still 5 people fighting for the win at the moment.
And Techno gets pushed off the track.
Oh, they're gonna go 4 wide here. Oh,
Completely 4 wide here, heading into this corner. Cloud has the inside line, but Techno is even vying for it there. As the drivers all go all across the circuit, it looks like Cloud is going to hold position here, but behind him, he has James, Techno, and I believe that is Jen Luffy pushing him completely as Techno is basically pitted by James Rigby here. And Cloud is going to be hoping that they keep battling as he heads into his final lap very soon, as he's on the back straight now. So your order now, and I promise you this will not stay the same. Cloud, Jen Luffy, behind him is Techno, James Rigby, and Weblu, your top 5 as we head now into this final lap. We'll see who is able to maintain their advantage. Cloud going very defensive into the hairpin, but once again, he gives the advantage completely to Jen Luffy, and he loses 2 positions in one corner, allowing, I think this is Techno, to go right around his outside. Techno, a very aggressive driver, bumping and pushing as we now cross the line to begin the final lap here at Misano in the sprint.
Yes, we got Cloud and Techno fighting here for the position. This is just making a gap for James to go down the inside now. Jen Luffy trying to get away to run away with the lead over here. James trying to minimize the damage, trying to catch. Oh, Jen Luffy goes wide. He goes super wide. Gives a chance to James to catch back up with the rest behind him as well. Cloud, Techno, and Weblu. Looks, as we look a little further back, we got W4K actually doing very good comeback there. Epic Lexer and Maxi also catching back up.
So it looks like Genlocky made a mistake there, I believe, through turn 6, and it's now given everyone an advantage, or really an opportunity, to take advantage of his mistake. But as he heads onto the back straight, he does not have any close competitors. All the drivers are really battling from P2 back. So Cloud seems to be the most likely, but they're in the same car. They should be teammates. Will Cloud allow the drivers behind him to push him towards Genlocky? But it's not many corners left now, and he seems to be in complete control. But as he heads into the
Oh, here
hairpin
goes.
now, he goes just a little bit wide, and that opens the door slightly for Cloud. But it looks like he'll stay composed just about until the end. It was a very close race, but a very enticing battle, and it looks like we'll finish single file. Your winner here today at Misano Sprint, Jen Luffy.
As now everyone's coming across the line. We're just missing 2 drivers now.
Just waiting for Kellen, the driver who started.
Kellen has finished, and D4K, I assume, has retired. Did not finish the race.
Looks like he's coming through now, actually, I believe. Oh, no, yeah, he's retired. So, your finishing order for the sprint here today. Jen Luffy with a very amazing drive to come out on top in P1. Behind him was Cloud and Techno. Then in P4, it was James Rigby, and following him is Weblu. So, that is the end of our sprint, and we will rejoin you for the feature race, the 12-lap feature race, which will feature 1 mandatory pit stop. All right, welcome back, as we are here in Misano, of course. But now for our feature race. Asano, take us through the features of this race.
Well, this race is gonna be 12 laps long, longer, double the distance of the sprint race. We'll have this field be strung out a little more. There will be one mandatory pit stop, so that's gonna shake up the field a little. Um, let's see the actual choice of the tires for the drivers. I've already seen someone started on the hard tires. I think most people will be doing hard, medium, or medium to hards. Unless someone can actually stretch the hards long enough to go onto the softs, of course.
It'll be very interesting to see what exactly the tire strategy is here today, but still be interesting regardless to see what our split strategies are for those of our quick drivers who are at the back, like this man here, Techno, who, despite having a very nice sprint, nearly getting the win, I believe he collected a P3. He's starting from the back in the feature race, so it's perhaps a ideal scenario. But with that being said, let's go ahead and run through our grid here for the feature race in Misano. Starting from the back row of the grid, our pole sitter for the sprint race, Cal, will be looking to have a slightly better result from the sprint than he did in the feature race, as he started from pole but ended up at the back of the grid. Ahead of him is Techno, who will be looking to surge through the field, and ahead of him, or alongside him on the grid, is James. Next to them, on the fourth row of the grid, is Always Scary and Webloop, and ahead of them is Cloud and Just Maxi holding it down in P3. Then it's going to be Roxy and Mon in row 2, and ahead of them is going to be Jen Loffy and Wap, who will be your pole man for the feature race today. Asano, we saw what happened in the feature. Are you expecting, we saw what happened in the sprint. Are you expecting a replay of that in the feature race?
The start of the feature race might be the same. Oh, as the lights are already going out. Looks like 5 red lights already. Lights out and away we go. It looks like everyone gets a decent start. Seb already going up from third all the way to first now. Okay, sticks around outside, brakes a little, lets off the gas. Let's Jan Loffy and Wack actually fight it out over here.
So it looks like
good move by Sebi there, moving up a position from third to second now. As Jen Loffy, whoa, almost runs into the back of him. As it looks like everyone's going through without any major issues. Oh, Maxi just runs Khaled way off the road. So goes onto the radio, says sorry, my lag spike. Looks like the issues from last week are coming back with the lag spikes. Issues are not fixed.
It's going to be ideal. As we see here at the front of the pack, the two North Korea Audi cars are looking very spicy. They're 1 and 2 so far, but just behind them are the two Audis of Cloud and Jen Loffy, who is looking to go around the outside. Almost got the move done on Sebi. But these 4 Audi drivers are all going to be pushing to get away from the following pack. So far, your order is... I actually have no idea who this is in P1. But behind him is Sebi, Jen Luffy, and Cloud. It'll be very interesting to see how these drivers shake up, as, of course, Jen Luffy just won a sprint race here as they go 3 wide into the hairpin. And just going a little bit wide as the 44 car leading the race so far. The drivers are all going to be looking to settle now into this race.
Yeah, so Jen Luffy trying to go down the inside, make Sebi go wide into the slowdown. Jen Luffy now in first place. With Cloud fighting right behind him, fighting for that slipstream, wants every little bit he can get. Sebi trying to make a move down the inside again, now on the outside. Oh, makes space for Cloud. Whoa, we got a big collision behind. Techno gets forced wide. As they are all slowing down, as actually Jen Luffy and Cloud are actually just getting away from them now. As we actually see some of the tire choices, looks like Jen Luffy, Cloud on the hard tires, MON. I think that's Sebi on the mediums, Wack on the hards, Techno on the mediums, Webloop going for the soft tires. and then the rest of the field on the hards, with an exception AR in last place on the softs.
Very interesting choice. Quite the spread on tire choices here. Weber will be a little bit disappointed to have started on the softs and not really taken advantage yet, as he is still currently down. And as he makes an overtake, as I say that, very. Uh,
Yeah, it was Techno making a move on Sebi. It looked like he was trying to make a move on W4K as well. Didn't make it stick, but look at the gap Jen Luffy and Cloud are just making. They're working together, getting away from the rest of the field.
we've noticed that they've done this quite a bit so far this season. There's always a leading pack that seems to break away, and then from there the race kind of develops from them. But Jen Luffy and Cloud will be looking to see if they can even extend this gap a little bit more, as they're not quite out of the clear yet, with some very interesting drivers such as Techno battling away with these two Audi drivers.
Yeah, and Web Blue is also joining the fight now. Techno coming into the radio saying, "Don't fight, we have to catch," referring to the main group ahead with Cloud and Janofi. Of course, teammates, they're gonna, of course, work together. So these guys need to work together, try and catch the field. Oh, we've got someone going wide in the back. Looks like it was Simon UPT. Oh, it is almost just been pit maneuvered by Kellad and Roxy. We got some fighting as well going on in the back of the field.
Oh, yeah, as we look to this fight in the back of the field, these are all, of course, AM drivers, so the least experience of anyone here on the grid. And oh my God!
Oh.
He's completely pushed off the circuit by the number 4 BMW Roxy. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but that is going to have to be a steward's review. As though, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I think it might have been one of the issues again with Roxy with the lag spikes. Might have been there. But hasn't said anything actually in the chat. Looks like people are trying to give Roxy C already. Looks like they're referring to a penalty, I think.
So a very unfortunate move. As we look to our replay here, the drivers were all very close heading through our tight 6 and 7 section. Then all of a sudden, the act just comes right across the face of Simon. So not entirely sure if that was intentional or if that was a lag spike, but he'll definitely be speaking to the stewards after this race, as Sebi here is holding it down in, I believe, P3.
No, Techno is actually in P3
as Webley
pits. Third lap already going into the pits. He is, of course, on the soft tires. They're not going to last long. He needs to go on the hards now if you want to finish the race without pitting again. But it looks like Techno actually got away from Sebi and Wack, trying to catch back up to Genofi and Cloud. But they're going to, of course, use that slipstream on each other. Techno might be in a bad position here, as we actually get word now, Roxy incident to be investigated after the race. So stewards will look at the incident after the race.
So it looks like Weblu is exiting the pits now. Now, the interesting part about Misano, a very, very long pit lane. You basically skip all of turn 1 and turn 2, but you're doing it at pit limiter speed. So you lose a lot of time, and this is evidenced by Weblu now coming out all the way at the back of the field with quite the gap back to the drivers behind, what used to be behind him, but the drivers at the back of the field. So we'll be definitely looking out for Weblu to see how his progress goes. Ahead of them, Kelland, our sprint race pole starter, is battling away with one of the Audis. He goes very wide there in his debut race in the league, so we'll go a little bit gentle on him. Further ahead, we see Techno seemingly out of the clear of the battle that he was enthralled in behind. He's in a little bit of a no man's land as he tries to catch Jen Luffy and 22C. Then Simon, he's chilling at the back of the grid here in P10. And he has a little bit of a gap to Weblu, as who, like we said, has just come out of the pits. And Roxy is a little bit ahead of him. So the drivers all kind of settling into this race now. Asano, with the race kind of balancing how it goes, what do you think is going to play out with the strategy aspect?
Well, I think Jan Luffy and Cloud will work together as much as they can, try and get that gap already, get the gap to get a little more on that. Techno goes a little wide. Try to get more of a gap to be able to fit and have like a little gap. You know what I mean? And
It sounds like
of
something
course,
about a gap. So
Tekno
I
is
feel
trying to
like I heard
catch,
the
but he's
Forges.
just losing time overall. I'm not sure what the gap was before this lap. Looks like it's 3.5 seconds right now. As the guys behind Tekno are catching him, they should be working together if they still want to see the front of the race.
Be very interesting to see how this develops. Maxi is here battling with the two North Korean Audis, Mon and Wack. The drivers who, despite qualifying quite well, are really seeming to have that race pace, and now Maxi is giving them a run for their money as he goes down the inside of Mon. But it and Mon forces him completely off the circuit, and it looks like Maxi is either having some Wi-Fi issues or is just ferociously saying something on the radio, and it does look like he sends
Yeah,
a radio message.
came on the radio saying lag spike still has the issues just like last week. Needs to do something about the lag spikes if he doesn't want to get involved in crashes anymore, like just before. Or no,
It
Max.
looks
Oh,
like
that's a different guy.
Gemini has set the fastest lap of the race, so him and Cloud doing very well to pull away. Now they are with a 3.5 or 3.5 second gap out in front as one of the red North Korean Audis dives into the pits.
Wow,
Looks like
4.6 second gap.
yeah, 4.6 seconds now. Yes,
They have made a. They're making a second 1.1 seconds every lap. Looks like they're working together very well. Tekno unlucky that he has no one with him, has no slipstream, has to do this on his own. With Wack staying out, trying to catch up to Techno, but he also does not have any slipstream. It will be hard for these drivers to even see the front of the race again.
yeah. And as we look now, the undercut effect seems to be very strong. Weblu, previously behind Seti before he pitted, with quite the time advantage gained over him. So
Yes.
this could be a feature of this circuit. As the pit lane is so long, it's really better to get your pit stop out of the way before your rival driver. Weblu with what looks to be a 2.5, maybe 3 second gap over Sebi. So it'll be
Yes,
interesting to see how this develops for our leaders.
and very interesting from Webblue actually going onto the medium tire. He's gonna need to stretch this tire very long if he wants to make this work. But very interesting strategy from here. Here.
We'll see if it pans out quite as he is expecting. As we look to Cloud and Jen Lofty here, once again working very well together. They're growing the gap by about one and a bit seconds every lap. So it'll be interesting to see just how much they can extend their advantage. As they're not battling, not fighting each other. They know they want to keep just one another in it. They are teammates after all, but once again, just very close together, pulling away from the gap, from the crowd. And then it's Techno, who
And
is now
and
5.7 seconds behind. So really, it looks like our leaders are pretty much in the clear, as it looks like one of the drivers there goes
yeah,
into the pits.
Maxi is spinning. DVK coming into the video. Troja saying Roxy question mark idiot. I'm not happy with Roxy. I was actually looking at them before, and Roxy actually ran Trojas wide off the road. So looks like a little justified madness from Trojas, but he needs to settle in if he still wants a good result in this race.
Yeah, so we'll look now to Maxi. We'll see where he comes out from his pit stop. And just for confirmation here, Weblu does have a 5 second gap over Sebi. And it looks like, once again, to prove our point, Sebi has now gained time on Maxi, despite them being in a relatively close group. So, clear and cut. The undercut seems to be the way to go here at Masano. So, between these two drivers now, Cloud and Jen Lofty, how do they determine who pits first? Asano, what would you do?
Well, it's just a question of time. I think one will pit this lap, whoever's first in the race will probably pit and go into the pit first, and then the second one will clearly see they can't pit at that time. They'll probably pit next lap to try and cover the undercut, but yeah, they can't, of course, pit at the same time. As they actually already grew the gap again, 1.1 seconds again on Techno, so they haven't pitted. They're staying out, trying to build the gap even bigger.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see just how far these guys are willing to push. As if they're not careful, if they do mess around, they could allow Techno to undercut the both of them. He is on the medium tires after all, so he has the freedom of choice with tire compounds outside of his medium tires. But he could go onto the softs if he wants to do a Webley type strategy, or he could go onto the hards in a very interesting, could pay off strategy. As oh no, Jen Luffy goes straight on.
Ooh.
He goes straight on.
They will for sure need to pit this lap. They can't work together anymore. We actually saw Roxy pitting before, losing a lot of positions, now behind Sebi. But yeah, they won't be able to work together unless Cloud waits for Denlofi, which I doubt he will do. I think Cloud will now get priority to pit. So I think he will pit this lap, and then Denlofi needs to pit next lap to try and cover the undercut.
There's very few laps remaining, but here's one thing I want to keep an eye on. Weblu, he is doing the inverse of their strategy. He is currently on the medium tires, lapping quite well. Cloud, Jen Luffy, there might be just enough of a gap between the two drivers for them to make the double stack work. However, Techno is still in play here, so we'll have to look to see if these drivers are willing to take that risk or if they are just going to take the traditional route. Going to be very interesting conclusion to this Misano Grand, well, I don't know if you call it a Grand Prix, but GT4 race.
We go with Cloud now. Is he gonna pit? Yes, he comes into the pit lane. Let's see what Jen Luffy also pits. They're gonna go for the double stack. Techno needs to react. He also needs to pit. He cannot let this happen. He cannot let them undercut him.
And Techno is in the pit, so this is going to be interesting now to see
how this works out. Audi.
The double stack hasn't worked. Jen Luffy's had to slow down.
The North Korean Audi also comes into the pit lane. As Trojas is coming now. Kellad pitting also. Weblu is now coming into the straight. He might catch and close the gap here. Cloud and now coming.
With the masterclass strategy, it looks like he'll come out either very close to or just ahead of.
No, Cloud has already came out of the pit. He might be able to get Jen Luffy or his teammate Techno. Yes, he's just going to be right behind Techno.
But a masterclass of a strategy here because these drivers, once again, they haven't gotten their tires warmed up. And Weblu will have the compound advantage over the other drivers except for Cloud and Jen Luffy. So he has played himself into this battle.
Techno actually gone onto the softs. Gonna need to warm those tires up quickly if he wants to get a chance to catch up again with his teammate Weblu actually behind him. On very old mediums, of course, already warmed up. He's going to have that advantage this lap, but next lap I think Techno will have the advantage on tires.
That'll be very interesting to see what Techno can do.
Weblu just tried to make a move on Techno. Didn't make it work. He's right behind Techno now. He might make a move with the slipstream here. As I'm actually lagging, I can't see anything. Weblu, have you pitted? He's trying to ask his teammate for some information. Are they going to fight or are they going to work together?
Looks like Weblu is just something to stay behind his teammate, bump draft him, and see if they can vie for the lead. Of course, if they can't make it back, I'm not even going to ask the question if the drivers will push each other, because no doubt these two very competitive drivers will go for it.
Techno just came onto the radio saying push us, so they want to work together to catch the leaders. Only 3 laps remaining in total. But somehow Trojas is there. Trojas, I doubt he pitted yet.
Yeah, it looks like he's out for either a safety car, but where's Jen Luffy? What happened to Jen Luffy?
Jen Luffy is second place. Quite a bit behind Cloud still. Quite far in front of Techno and Weblu at the moment. Maxi looks to still have some issues, coming onto the radio saying, "Bro, I can't do anything with these spring stacks. How?"
So the field just kind of stretching out here. It looks like our leader, Cloud, has quite the gap back, 4 seconds behind him to Jen Luffy. Then further behind him, it's 5 seconds to Trojas, as we said. It doesn't appear that he's pitted yet, so we'll see how this strategy goes for him. And then Techno is there in P4, about 8 seconds back behind the leader. Then behind him, he's very close with Weblu, but they are, of course, working together to see if they can catch. and then it is Whack, Mun, and Rocks, who are all kind of gaps. So no real battles, nothing close like we saw in Silverstone, but nonetheless a good strategy battle. Look to see how that pans out. We'll go to our replay center now. We'll look at a recurrence of what happened here. It looks like Cloud was just leading. When they came out of the pits, they were very close after that double stack, but then it looks like either down to Wi-Fi, Jen Luffy just going straight off the track, giving Cloud basically the race win if things stick as they are.
And Trojans is actually pitted now. As Weblu actually came on the radio earlier in this lap saying tire dead, his mediums that he's been on for several laps now. I think he pitted lap 10 or lap 4. So yeah, he has some dead tires. He's gonna try to help his teammate Techno, of course, but I don't think he's gonna be a lot of help right now.
Yeah, it's both drivers coming. There's Techno on the radio saying, "Why are these softs so bad?" So none of the drivers really happy with their tire situation now, but it looks like they're going to have to make do with what they got, and it looks like what they got is each other, as it's not looking like they're going to catch any other drivers anytime soon.
And we actually got a very close race in the AM category. All three drivers here fighting. Maxi, one of the pro drivers, just dropped back quite far. As Trojans actually tried to make the undercut, he's right behind Simon and Kellett now. With Roxy running away with the AM victory right now.
Roxy doing very well in his class. Talent.
Or actually Sebi. My bad. Sebi is actually leading the AM class right now. The number 44 car, the North Korean car. Just ahead of Roxy and then the rest of the field behind him.
So it looks like the Cloud is now rounding the final few corners to begin his final lap. A very dominant display by him in his own league, so would kind of expect this, but doesn't take anything away from him. He's done very well, and he's had a great drive that he can be very proud of. So behind him is Jen Luffy. He will start as well his final lap, but we'll look now to Weblu and Techno. Should be gloves off for the Aston Martin drivers, nothing really holding them to it, and right behind them, Whack is actually
Whack. Whack is somewhat caught back up to them. He's quite close. He might be able to fight still for that P4 position here.
We'll be hoping the two drivers battle as much as they can, so that way he can get a sniff at that P3. The final podium position here is at play.
Oh yes, P3, my fault. I said P4. But yes, the final position of the podium is still on play. Exactly as you said.
You see here, Weblu seeming to tow, and it looks like he's going to go for a send on Techno, but Techno defending the inside very well, but he runs very wide, and he gets a CC slowdown, and that is going to play beautifully into Weblu's hands. Weblu taking the position, and now it looks like even Whack is going to get into some play as he pushes Techno quite wide, actually. The drivers are door banging now, as on the back straight, these drivers are all fighting. However, we will look toward our leader, as it looks like he's coming around the hairpin. Okay, no, we have a little bit of time. So Weblu just hanging in front of these two drivers. They're very close, neck and neck. Techno but it seems like Whack is going to be able to hang around too much as they make sends. All three of the drivers sending it. We'll see how this plays out, but we'll look back to our leader, Cloud, as he crosses the line now with a very well-deserved win. Behind him, Jen Luffy will cross the line, but now we look to this amazing battle as Techno has somehow regained his P3, and it looks like he will lead the drivers across the line. So he has done very well to retain a P3. Behind him, Sebi, rounding the final corner now. He's done well to take a win in the AM class, and behind him is Rux and Kel. Well, Kel is actually quite a bit behind, but he will also finish. And we just wait now for Trojas to cross the line as he does. So that is your completed order for today at Masano. Asano, what are your thoughts?
Very good race here. Unlucky. As we actually get a message now. Whack poor and techno incident noted, pushing another driver off the track to gain position. So there might be something after that race there, or after the race that will happen there. But yes, overall, a very good race. Like the racing, unlucky for the rest of the field that Jen Lofty and Cloud got away at the start, worked together and built a gap. But then further back, we had some good racing, good fighting until the end for the P3 position.
Yeah, very enthralling race from start to finish. Really, maybe not as close battles as we saw in Silverstone, but still, very good racing from all our drivers, and of course, a very nice pit strategy that played out there. So, your drivers for today will now head over to the podium as we will watch the podium celebrations for the race here at Misano.
God save our king.
So we'll have some post-race interviews with our drivers here from a very entertaining race in Misano. We'll start with our race winner, Cloud. You did very well there, of course, to take the lead very early in the race, and you and your teammates seemed to work well together. What would you say was the deciding factor in your race win today?
I think our ability to bum draft each other down the straight, to touch each other down the straight, worked very well together. I would say that the soft tires were not the optimal strategy, and that race was a little bit boring. I can't lie.
Yeah, maybe not the most exciting race, but a good race nonetheless. You did very well to drive. It looks like your teammate just fell away from you at the end there. Any comment on
Yeah,
that?
I think he got a lag spike, which would be nothing new for Jen. He's a victim of Talk Wi-Fi.
Not a deal. So the touching strategy seemed to have worked out very well. As we look at the replay here, of course, does Jen. They're going into turn five, just completely going off the circuit. Not ideal, never what you want to see, but it's a part of racing, and I'm sure he'll be looking to bounce back very well next race. Cloud, any other comments or any other statements you would like to leave us with?
I would say that Quag might be the GOAT, I'm not gonna lie.
All right. So, goat statement there from Cloud, but a very nice race there from our league owner. Here we also have with us, I believe this is Jen Laffey. Jen Laffey, you ran a very good race there, but just at the end it seemed to slip away from you. Any comments on the lag spike there?
Well, I was probably expecting it at one point. I got two, but the second one was on a straight, so it wasn't too bad. But that one just forced us to pit, and then Techno decided to be a bit mentally deficient and picked the softs, which was I thought it'd be interesting, but then he picked the softs, and then it was boring.
Yeah, even more interesting strategy there from Techno. I thought it would have been probably ideal to wait another lap and then pit, but he went for it, and of course, he did not reap any rewards from it. But a very nice race. So you say that you guys weren't planning on pitting that lap. Was the plan always to pit on the same lap? Because it didn't look like the double stack worked as ideal as you might have imagined.
The plan was to pit me first, and then let Cloud do another lap. But then we judged it, and we thought we had the gap for a double stack. I was only held up for a tiny bit, and it didn't really affect us in the long run. So all
Okay.
successful in the end.
Yeah, very well done. Very well run race by the Audi boys. And any exciting things or anything you're looking forward to in the next round?
Getting a win.
Yeah, another one, another one. As it did look like you had quite the nice run in the sprint race. Any comments on that?
Oh, the sprint race was an interesting race. But in the end, we managed to clear the field, and I'm very happy that we got the win there.
Thank you very much, Jen Laffey. Very nice race to you, and hope you were able to enjoy your podium. All right, then we will have the winner of what I believe was the AM class, Manu. I'm going to invite you up to the stage here. We'd like to hear some of your thoughts on the race, if you would be so kind as to join. It's not looking like he's going to join. For whatever the reason, he's not too happy, so we're going to leave him alone. And it looks like we'll try and get Whack up here. Whack also drove quite the race, but he's also gone. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have had a very entertaining race. So, what would you wrap this up for us to say?
Some interesting racing going on. Oh, actually, Mono requesting to speak this time. I invited him to speak.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, Mono.
I want to formally apologize for my mistakes in the sprint, and to ask what the fuck were the BMWs doing. I got pushed off like 3 or 4 times by the BMWs.
Yes, we saw that.
Yeah,
Did they actually apologize after the race to you, or did they not?
no, they just called me bad. That's it.
Okay.
They blamed it on me. Yeah, my whole race was fucked from like the third lap or something like that.
But
Yeah,
as
that's
I
all I
can
had to
see
say.
here, it looks like you actually won the AM category. So, are you
Yeah.
happy with that result?
No,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Thank you so much
Thank you, Mono.
for your statements. And ladies and gentlemen, we've had a very nice race out here in Misano. Very entertaining. Maybe not the most enthralling, but a good race nonetheless. And I will leave you with Asano for your race rundown.
For the one? I didn't hear you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here. I apologize for any swears you may have heard by the drivers after the race. You know, emotions were very high. But with that being said, we will head out and we will see you for the next round in Monza for VCL GT4 round 3. Thank you all for joining us, and from Orlando, Florida, we say goodbye.